Yes, so let us start with the theme of the poem, The Laburnum Top. Now, here, the Laburnum Top, we see that it's a poem about the cycle of life. And it begins with a description of a tree in autumn season. In the very first stanza, the poet, he has created an image and he has shown this tree, the laburnum tree, which is very still and silent. It is the autumn season, the leaves are turning yellow and its seeds have fallen. So this represents one life fading and another in the form of seeds, which is about to begin. As the seeds have now fallen on the ground in the soil, and now it would take some time and then the seeds would germinate. So this represents when one life fades, the another begins. And in the first stanza, how we see that the poet talks about the serenity of the autumn season, the peace of the autumn season, and how he describes the versatile nature of nature here. That with the four different the seasons, it has its own hues, color. So that way, the autumn season has its own symbolism. And this is what the poet explains, that how it refers to the peace, the serenity, decay, and ultimately death. And the poem also celebrates this beauty of the nature, the versatility of the nature that is there. The poem celebrates, and here in the poem, we see the poet, he describes the autumn season and its relevance in the life of humans. So, in the first stanza, he talks about life, which is a process of exchange and transformation. And people, they are alive because they undergo exchange. And we see that how in the first stanza, when the tree it was still, and then with the arrival of the goldfinch in the second stanza, it brings a transformation in the tree. It makes it alive. So the goldfinch arrives with a suddenness, startlement, and the tree is brought back to life again. Its branches become busy with the chitterings and tremor of the wings, the trillings that are there, and the entire tree, it trembles and thrills. So here, how we see that a transformation is brought, an exchange is brought there. The tree becomes life. So the tree here symbolizes the pattern of a life in general. In our life also, we see various ups and downs. Sometimes life seems to be dull, inanimate, but the poet here says that it is the attitude of a person towards life that makes it meaningful and worth living. How we see that the goldfinch, it brings cheer, happiness to the simple and inanimate surroundings. Before that, it was a death-like silence everywhere. There was no movement in the tree. But then the goldfinch, it changed everything. A lot of activities is seen in the tree, and we see that how it actually symbolically refers to the way we perceive things in our life, how we need to change in our life. The goldfinch, it brings cheer, happiness, and happiness is infectious, कहते हैं ना? So we see that how the poet, he actually talks about the interrelationship between the soul and the body through the common symbol of the bird and the tree. The tree, which is described metaphorically as the machine here. In other words, the tree helps the bird and its family to flourish. It provides the bird and its family with a place to rest and find shelter. It also provides food in the form of sap and buds, for example. So this stanza, it represents the codependency of life. One life, even it may be fading, it helps another. Although the leaves are yellowing, leaves are falling, the seeds are falling, but still the tree is supporting the bird and its family. And on the other side, the bird has brought happiness, excitement, thrill in the tree. So here he talks about the codependency of life. And we see that how the body and the soul, they are not taken to be separate entities. They are complementary to each other. One without the other is incomplete. How they depend on each other. And it is the interaction between the two lies the beauty, vigor, and the perfection of the existence. So tree, जब वहां पर बिना उस bird के था, how there was nothing in the tree. Everything was silent there. It was a death-like silence. Even the leaves have started to turn yellow. The seeds have started to fall down. So it seemed as if the life was coming to an end. But the bird, it changed everything. So they both were complementing each other there. So it symbolically talks about the codependency of the life, how the process of exchange and transformation takes place. And this way, we actually feel our existence in the life. Then in the third and the fourth stanza, the goldfinch, where we see it flies away towards the infinite after having the motherly satisfaction, and the tree subsides to empty. These stanza represent death here. It is the symbolism of death. This ending to the poem suggests that there is a spiritual side to the life. The bird may symbolize the soul of the tree, which animates life for a short while, and when it leaves to return to the infinite. So without the soul, life like tree is empty now. So how it shows the relationship of the body and the soul. So the states of existence, both in separation of the body and the soul, that is the beginning and ending of the poem that is there, and the middle of the poem that is shown, where it is the union of the body and the soul. How the poet, it provides that the body, that is the tree, and how the bird, that is the soul, it brings vigor, the thrill in the life of the tree. So this is mandatory for the life and its fulfillment. The body and the soul, they cannot be separated from each other. They depend on each other. So that way, a codependency is shown. The relation of the decay in our life, how yellow symbolizes the decay and the death. And we see that how the poet brings this theme through this stanza, the last two stanzas, where we see that the spiritual side, where we see when the soul, it departs from the body, how the body becomes lifeless in the form of the tree and the bird there. Now, the poet has also brought in front of the readers the parental instinct and care. There is an imagery of life and sustenance which is transported through the mother goldfinch to her young ones. She visits her young ones to feed them and assure them that she is there. It also indicates that the mother goldfinch has to fly far away at the close of the autumn season now, because she also has to ensure a warm and a secure winter for her young ones. So we see that how the mother goldfinch, it shows her love and affection towards the young ones, how it shows her concern towards the young ones. Similar are the parents, how they take care of their children in the life. It shows that how these, we can say the parents, they love and they take care of their children in their life. So this is highlighted through this poem. The restless and the impatience that we see in our parents, the cautious nature, the protective mother, this is all expressed through the image of the bird there. And the commotion that starts when the mother bird comes, then the image. Yes, so we were discussing that how the mother, after having the motherly satisfaction, she flies again just to ensure a warm and secure winter for her young ones. So it is this parental instinct and care which is powerfully depicted in the poem. And it can be constructed as the message of the poem as well. The parents, the restlessness, the impatience that is shown, the alertness, the cautious nature of the parents, the protective nature of the mother, and the way the commotion starts when the mother starts feeding the young ones, then the satisfied mother, all these images reinforce the message beautifully, which shows the love, care, and affection of the parents towards their young one. So it is through the scene of the laburnum, in a very graphic and dramatic manner, we see that how the poet brings out the themes in front of us and the significant messages conveyed. There, he also highlights the spiritual side of the life, the aspect that how the body and soul, they can be separate entities as well, but they are not. They complement each other. One is incomplete without the other. And it is the interaction between the two that lies the beauty of life, the perfection of the existence of human being. And thus they undergo exchange and transformation in their life. People are alive because they undergo such kind of transformation. We see that how the tree becomes alive with the arrival of the goldfinch, and we see the transformation of energy, the alertness, the way abruptness is shown by the bird, the activity that is shown is transformed to the tree as well. The tree also throbs with excitement, and it feels that the tree is also alive there. So all these things are beautifully depicted in the poem The Laburnum Top. I hope the theme is clear to you all now. Let's quickly discuss some of the literary devices used in the poem. The first one, alliteration, that is the repetition of a consonant sound at the beginning of two or more consecutive words, as for example, September, sunlight, tree, trembles. So t sound is repeated here. Here the s sound is repeated. So alliteration is used there. Then simile. Simile is also a comparative poetic device, a device which is used to do comparison between two things. And the words you will find like and as are used here. So we see when the poet uses sleek as a lizard. So here the poet is comparing the goldfinch bird and with the lizard here. The smoothness, the glossy nature of the body of the lizard is compared with the bird. Then the metaphor is used here, comparison between two things again, a quality is compared. So we see when the bird enters the thickness, the machine starts up. Here machine is used as a metaphor for the noisy commotion and the tree that is there. Then it is the engine of the family. The engine here refers to the young ones there who are in the nest of, and the nest is on the tree there. So metaphor, दो metaphor use हुए हैं. Machine for the tree and engine for the young ones. Then symbolism is used. Symbol, the laburnum tree, the symbol of peace and serenity, which is an integral part of nature. The color yellow, it is symbol of decay and loneliness and death. How we see as the man grows, he becomes lonely. He starts growing old day by day and decays and then dies. Then the goldfinch, which is symbol of activity and liveliness. Zinda dili ka symbol hai the goldfinch, the way that bird, it brings a transformation in the tree. Then we see the personification as well. The attribution of personal nature characteristic to something which is non-human or inanimate object. So जब हम human traits provide करते हैं किसी non-human को या inanimate object को, so that is personification. So here in the line, the whole tree trembles and thrills. So here tree has been personified. ट्री भी ट्रेम्बल कर रहा है और वो एक्साइटमेंट शो कर रहा है. So it's the human trait which is given to the tree here. Then the transferred epithet, the figure of speech, where the adjective is transferred to another noun. So when the poet says her barred face identity mask, the barred face here, the face is referring to the face of the bird. So here with the noun phrase, the poet is actually talking about the bird itself, and this barred, the stripes that is there on the face of the bird, it is actually used for the whole body of the bird, because goldfinch bird, she has different colors on her body. Yellow color is there, then stripes of black color are there. So that way the barred face, it is acting as a transferred epithet, because the adjective barred is actually transferred to the whole bird, right? So these are some of the poetic devices used in the poem. So I hope the poem is clear to all, and this is all from my side from the poem The Laburnum Top.